Okay, hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone who is watching us today. I am with Sanas today from Australia. We are going to talk about online business and what we do in our online business and why we started this business. So, Sanas, could you please introduce yourself for people who are following from my page, and then I'll go for a short introduction as well.
Wonderful. Hi, Kathy. Hi, everyone. I'm Sanas from Australia, Brisbane, mother of two, wife, a real estate agent, and an accountant, and an online business owner. So, short little introduction.
Super busy. All right. So, and I'm Katie. I live in Scotland with my family. I work in oil and gas. My background is in IT and GIS, Geographical Information Systems. And last year, I started an online business beside my full-time job. Well, Sanas, you made it too short. You didn't say why you started this business.
I should elaborate. Yeah, so why did I start this online business? So basically, my studies are in accounting. So I've got an accounting degree. I worked in that field for quite some time, but I needed something, I was a people person and I wanted something that I'm dealing with people more. So that kind of led me towards the path of real estate and marketing. I had done a marketing course at some point and figured out that, I like that sort of thing more, sales and marketing roles and that type of stuff. So I got into real estate. I've worked in real estate for many years. And then I decided when I was pregnant with my first child, I decided that I had to kind of rethink everything because I was working for an office, a real estate agency that I was also managing that office. So not only I had to meet my own sales targets that I had for myself, but at the same time I had to make sure the team is reaching their sales targets and managing the office and whatnot. And what that required from me to go to work, I had to be at work at 7 a.m., be there before everyone, kind of open the office up, be there with upbeat kind of a vibe before everyone comes. And then obviously I was there till about 6, 7 in the evening. And that was my 5 days a week. And on Saturdays as well, I was doing open homes, showing homes. So I'm in the sales part of real estate. So I was showing homes for the first half of the Saturday. And then I would come into the office till the afternoon, doing my contracts and paperwork and, marketing and whatever else. So that pretty much left Sunday, which then I was constantly on the phone because when you're in real estate, anyone who's in sales pretty much knows, especially in real estate, it doesn't stop. It's pretty much round the clock and you've got to be available because you want to make deals come together. So you can't just go, oh, it's my Sunday, I'm not going to answer the phone. So that was my lifestyle before kids. So then when I got pregnant, I was kind of like, how is that all going to work? When do I actually get to see my child? Because obviously you've had babies, that, they go to bed quite early. So by the time I would be home, he would already be asleep. And obviously my mum was the main person that was bringing up my son. So it was kind of not working out. So I decided that I would come out of that office and I would work for myself as a real estate agent, which I started doing, and I'm still doing that full time. But I wanted something for the long run, something, a big picture, that if at any point I wanted a backup plan, or if I wanted to change locations and not be having to stay here in this city, have a brick and mortar, something that I have to just be reliant on this city, I can just pick up my laptop and go. So that was the first thing. And eventually for it to create some sort of a long-term, I guess, more time with family in the end,
Absolutely.
Right now it's taking more time, but it's giving me the flexibility, but eventually to create that more time and more passive sort of income. So that was kind of my big sort of why, to be able to, and then I had my second one and I thought, yeah, definitely this is the way we have to go. What about for yourself?
Yeah, well, that's quite interesting. You have had a really busy life before that. super busy before even becoming a mom. Well, for myself, it was pretty much the same. I used to work in oil and gas till 2015. Well, I moved to Scotland in 2011, and then I was working in oil and gas. In 2015, the oil and gas market crashed, and in our city, in Aberdeen, it pretty much worked based on oil and gas. Lots of people, lots of companies in oil and gas industry. So many people, unfortunately, get laid off, and they lost a job, and I was one of them. And I had started that job just after my maternity leave, and it was less than a year, so I couldn't get any benefits, and it was quite a big shock, you know. And then I thought, all right, that's fine. It's not gonna be a long term. I'm sure that's gonna pick up. The market is gonna pick up, and everything's gonna be fine. And then my husband's contract finished at pretty much the same time. And then because there were no job here, he decided. Well, he made that decision. It was really hard to go abroad and work away from us. And then I thought, all right, everything's going to be temporary. It's not going to be a long term. That's fine. We can deal that. So, and then I thought I would probably start a course in IT, because I always wanted to study IT. So I started that. I had a little one. My son was just under 2. So it was juggling already for me, because my husband was away. I had a little one. I was just going to uni. So, and then it was like that for more than a year. And then we thought, oh, well, it doesn't sound quite good. It's not something that cannot deal with that. And then I started looking for something that I could do from home. I did a marketing course online. I quite liked it, and I thought I would probably do something like this. Then I started doing some freelancing in web development. I really love that. So I thought I had probably found the area that I wanted to concentrate and work. And everything was something that it was quite common in all those areas, was that they were all online. And I didn't need to be somewhere in certain time. So, and then, well, it was like 5 years going that way. After 3 years, I was looking for a job. Then I could manage to secure a job with one of oil and gas company here in Aberdeen. And then when I started the job, then right away, I started looking for something as a plan B, because I didn't want all that disaster happening again. But you know what? I really need something that I can do in my spare time. So, and then I came across this opportunity, and I thought, well, you know what? I'll give it a go. I will try how it works. And then it was last year that I officially started. And I'm just loving it, because I think it's exactly what I was looking for such a long time.
Yeah. It's quite fulfilling. Like and there's so many aspects to this business that, you know, from the self-development, not just the business itself, and everything it gives you, obviously income-wise and flexibility, but the other things that it's got, you know, it's got the health part, the self-development part, and so many other things that you kind of feel like you're in this warm blanket of love coming from everywhere. And that's what it's kind of, it's a good, well-rounded business to be involved in.
Totally. And just yourself, like that human connections. I think this business is perfect, because you see, look at me, I'm just in Scotland. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. You are there. It's like in the afternoon for you. I have met so many really wonderful people all around the world from different parts of the world, and it's been amazing. It's been an amazing first year. I'm sure that it's going to be even better when I feel
keeps getting better.
yeah.
You know, when we were searching for online business, we were searching for quite a long time, and we were looking at so many different businesses, and for me, like I'm someone who can work in a team or I can work all by myself. Like it doesn't bother me. Like some people I know, even within the office that I was working before, when COVID stuff happened and they had to work from home and everything, they were so daunted by that. They were like, oh, I can't get motivated, or I can't, you know. And for me, I was kind of like, oh, this is great. You know, I get to be in my pajamas and work. Like that's the best thing there is. Why are you guys upset about that? So I can go either way. But the thing was, every online business that we looked at, I found that you're kind of on your own. You're finding your own way. You know, you have to work all by yourself. There's no team aspect. There's nothing like that. If there's anybody else out there doing the same thing, they're your competitors. Whereas what I found so unique in this business was that there is such a team aspect to this, and everyone works together to help each other grow. And even though we don't sort of have our meetings physically, it's all, you know, virtual. I had never imagined, even in my wildest dreams, that I would have so many friends and I would know so many people so closely from all around the world. You know, like I'd love to come to Scotland one day. I've never seen, but you know what I mean? Like you know, we're connected through this business and so many other great people as well. And that was just so good for me. Like it was nice to know that you can have that flexibility. You can work at home. You can still have the team aspect. You can still have your, you know, bonding with other people. So you can have your, you know, eat your cake. What do they call it? Eat your cake and have it too, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really
Absolutely.
good like that.
It was just probably one simple thing that we were looking for, like a side hustle or extra income, or I don't know, a plan B, but it has over delivered.
Yeah.
Absolutely over delivered for myself. It's been amazing. As you mentioned, it was during COVID. It was like you know, that human connection, human interaction. It was like especially for now you're lucky because you've got your parents there. But for some of us who are working, I mean, living away from our family, it's been tough. It's been really tough. I can remember during COVID, it was once that my husband got stuck in Italy. He was in Italy, and Italy was one of the countries who was affected by COVID.
Yeah.
He was home for 6 months. He couldn't even get out of the house. All grocery shopping was delivered to him, and he was not allowed to get outside. And he couldn't come home, obviously, either. So it was like, oh my goodness, it's just like, it was so surreal. You know, you imagine that it was like you are in a movie, you're watching a movie, and you are one of the actor or actresses in the movie.
Yeah.
It was quite
That's true. That's so true. You know, by the way, you know, they've made a movie about this. I don't know if you've watched it, Bird Box. It's this exact thing. And I absolutely freaked out when I saw it because I was like, this is how we were living. Like, this is what had happened to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been amazing. So the other thing is that, well, I'm sure that those people who are watching us, especially those who are parents, they are just wondering how we can manage everything. Just, you have got your full-time job, you have got 2 beautiful kids, and how can you manage that? Just run your business on the side.
You know what? They always say, and I have actually experienced this firsthand, the busier you are, there's more time in the day. Somehow you just find more and more time. Whereas if you're not working, or you know, whatever your situation, you seem to just run out of time for no good reason. There is a lot of hours in the day. but fitting it all in, I think the flexibility really helps with that. The fact that, because if I had to go into an office at a certain time, you know, with this structure of a kind, and I couldn't, you know, I come home at like 6 o'clock and then I have to put my kids to bed, that wouldn't work. Whereas if I'm doing everything at different times, so for example, if I have a meeting with you now, you know, I'll make sure the kids have, you know, showered earlier than normal, and we just switch things around. That's how basically we make it work between my husband and I. And you know, the fact that everyone in this business is global, so there's different time zones. That means that, you know, my husband can come home, then I've got a meeting at night, I can do that. So the whole thing with this business, and what was just so great for us, was that you can just squeeze it into any part of your day, and you can do it in small amounts too. So you don't need to have this big chunk of like 2-3 hours where you have to sit and work like a normal job. This is something that you've got 10 minutes, or, you know, when I go to put my son to bed, I read to him, and then he likes me to stay in the room until he falls asleep. So while I'm, you know, once I finish reading to him, I'm still sitting there. I've got my phone on me. I'm, you know, doing my work at the same time, or I bring my laptop in, and he knows it now. Like, he's so adapted to this lifestyle. He's like, "Oh, Mummy, you got to go to work after I go to sleep." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can you bring your laptop into the room and work from my room?" It's like, okay. You know, and that's the beauty of this business, to be able to have that flexibility, because when you're a mum, that structure is thrown out the door because your time belongs to the kids. So yes, you know that as a mum, and everyone else who's watching us as a mum knows that not everything is in your control. So if I plan to work on my business, like say 2 hours per day, if I plan to do that in the morning, and something happens with the kids and I can't, or in my other work, you know, my real estate work, I just adapt them, you know, I just squeeze it into some other part of the day. And sometimes the best time for me, I don't know what it's like for you, but the best time for me sometimes is once the kids go to bed and the house is really quiet, and I just put on some music and I sit on my laptop. And that's probably time that I would either be on my phone, on Instagram or Facebook, just looking at other people's photos, my friends' photos, or, you know, liking things or whatever, or I'll be watching Netflix, neither of which I have time for now. So pretty much something's got to give a little bit, and that's pretty much what's being cut for me a little bit. You know, I gave up Netflix to make money and make future for my family. And my personal page now on my Facebook and Instagram, I barely get to look at those. So that's how I fit my business in, because all the time that I would be on my personal page, usually I just haven't got time for now. So I just go on my business page, I check on my ads, and I do all the things, you know, I've got to do. So I just squeeze it in bit by bit, like a little grater. I grate it into my life and fit it in. How do you work it? You do mornings, or how do you do the day?
I'm just like you. In the evening is the best time for me. If I have to wake up till late, like 2 o'clock, even after midnight, I'm absolutely fine with that. If I need to, I'm a late night person. I don't like waking up very early in the morning. But just as you say, it's like a few minutes, even when I'm sitting in the car waiting for my son to pick him up from school. I've got 10 minutes. I can do something there. I can make a post there. When I am taking my son to one of his classes, just sitting in the car doing nothing, instead of just what I used to read sometimes. But when you have got your phone, then as you say, you're just scrolling up and down, and doing nothing, you know.
Aimlessly.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I listen. I love that car time. I think the car time is so good. It's like this time where you're not interrupted. There's no, you know, external things. When you're in the house, you might be tempted to do something here and there. Where you're in the car, that's it. You got to sit there and wait. So it's the best time for that. And, you know, or listening to like podcasts or other things that we do. But it's one of the really good times for the business as well.
Yeah. And something else that you just mentioned, experienced it as well, is like at the beginning, when I was on my phone, my son was saying that, oh, mommy is on Instagram again. I said, Kian, I'm just working now. I'm not playing. I'm not doing this. What kind of work is that? So, all right, okay. And then get him involved and say, okay, he has got a very good taste of colors or drawings, or is quite talented in that area. And sometimes I ask him, just, all right, Kian, what do you think about the color palette? What do you think about this? And then now he understands that when I'm on my phone, on my laptop, I'm not playing, or I'm just like himself when he's just playing on his phone. On my phone, I'm not playing. I'm not just scrolling up and down unintentionally and doing nothing. So I'm doing something, and said, all right, okay, then. And now he understands. And I think that is a very good example. We are setting a good example for our children, that those times have passed, that spending your time and doing nothing, just aimlessly wasting your time on social media. You can be on your social media profiles and make money. Why not?
That's it. Yeah. And that's what I always say to Araz and Nila as well, that, and that's a good thing about it. It's a good point you mentioned, because getting them involved helps them understand your time better as well. So, if I say to them now, okay, mommy's got to do some work, or mommy's got a live, they totally get it, and they've been involved in that. And other times, if I want to take a photo of them or something to put on my social, I get them involved. They know why they're doing it. They smile, they cooperate, and now they're like kind of chasing after it too. They're like, Mommy, is it time to take a photo, or what are we doing? And we now have gone to calling it, which it is, a family business. So I've said to them that, we all got to be involved. Like, all four of us are involved. This is a family business, and we're working on it together. So they can then understand, like you said, value of working, value of money, and all these kind of principles that we're sort of squeezing into this whole thing. Yeah, that's such a good point you made.
Use of time instead of wasting it. I think it's really important for us. Probably we have learned it when in our adulthood. It was because we didn't have social media when we were a kid. Probably you had, I don't know, you are much younger than me. But for them, I think it's really good to learn from when they are kids, that they can make use of their time in a better way rather than just wasting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's setting a really good example. And I think for kids as well, like the old school way, or I shouldn't call it that, but the traditional way of working is the parent goes out of the house, the kids don't see them, they know there's this thing called work, but they don't know what it's all about. Whereas for them to actually experience it, be a part of it, and I asked Saraz the other day, I said, what do you like about Mummy working from home? And, he said, I like that you can work with us playing right next to you, that, and for him at that age, like 4, to understand that and appreciate that, it's so important. And then you think, okay, I've made the right choice with this, it kind of affirms your decision there. Yeah, I think that's for anyone who's doing it, if their why is back to that time thing, if their why is strong enough, the time and everything else kind of blends in, and the universe kind of works in with you to make the whole thing work. It just somehow works.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then the other thing about the other advantage of this business is that we can pass it on to our children later on if we want to. And this is really good. So it's a good time for them to just be an apprentice, start learning what we are doing, and then later on they can take over.
Yeah. And that was another thing when we were searching, that we found this to be so unique. Like for us, we would still come into this business if it didn't have that as well. But it was absolutely cream on top. We thought, what, you can, you reach after a certain time, and for everyone it's different, you can reach passive income, and then you will receive a fixed passive income forever for the rest of your life, and then you can leave it to your kids. They can continue the business, or they can just receive that passive income for the rest of their lives. That in itself, if it only had that to offer as well, I would still jump for it.
Absolutely.
I just think I don't know if there is anything else. In our research, we couldn't find anything else that was anywhere close to this sort of all the benefits this business has. Yeah.
Totally agree.
I think we're some of the lucky ones who took the leap of faith and went for it when we saw that ad. We didn't just go skip. We went, nope, learn more.
Man, well, I was saying to some of our friends the other day that, you know what I thought when I saw the ad, and then I right away registered, and then I thought I watched the webinar, and I said, you know what, they are asking for $149 to get more information, because that 90-minute webinar was not enough for me. I didn't get much of that. So I thought, you know what, I'll pay this $149, and I imagine that I'll think about it like I have been eating out a night, or I have bought a dress and I have only used it once and it's in my wardrobe. So I'll think it like that.
How many of those 149s you got hanging on your wardrobe? If you can?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So and then I paid it right away, and then I learned about the whole business model and everything, and it was mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. So for those who are a little skeptical, what's your advice then?
I think the only thing they should be fearful of is missing out. The fear of missing out should be so big, because with paying 149 or anything like that, like there's nothing. Firstly, if there's no risk involved, then you don't get anywhere in life. That's number one. But also just 149 to get the business model and to understand what it's all about, and then have that refunded if you actually don't want to do the business. I think anyone who doesn't go for it should be fearful of what they're missing out, because this is a game changer. This business is an absolute game changer, and I've got anxiety as it is, that I've missed out on so many years of this business where all the hours that I was doing everything else I was doing in my life, that if I had invested that time in this business, I would be at that retirement level now, and I would be retired. So I think for anyone who's skeptical, you should be worried about missing even a day of this. There's nothing to lose. There's absolutely nothing to lose. There's everything to gain, because the way it's designed is that it's risk-free. So if you don't want to do it for whatever reason, if it's not for you, you just get your money refunded. So just go for it.
Totally, yeah. And for those people who would like to try, how can they start? Where they can start from?
Yep. So if you head to Kathy's website or to my website, you will see that you can just pop in your name and email. We'll send you that 90-minute webinar. Have a watch of that, and then go for the trial. That gives you an option to click trial. Click trial and pay the $149 US, which is refundable, and watch the whole series of videos that would come out to you showing you the whole business model. And then if you do decide from there on that it's for you, you've got 30 days to make that decision, by the way. So if within that 30 days you don't want to do it, you can just get your $149 refunded. If you do want to do it, you then go ahead and invest. And yes, it is a business. There is investment involved, but it's nothing compared to other businesses out there. It's not a big investment. Even a student can do it, but it's definitely worth your while. So they're the steps if you're keen to give it a go.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Sana. It was lovely to have a chat with you. It's been like while we are a business partner, but I never had a chance to have a chat with you. That was lovely. And thank you so much for accepting my invite.
Thank you so much for your invite. It's been great having a chat with you, and hopefully we can chat again soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.